Hey, Sean here with a demo of where our automation system is at right now. It's been a while since we've done anything or we've shown anything, so we want to just kind of walk you through everything that we currently have. So I'm actually going to start by creating a new automation. We're just going to call it demo. We're going to select the market that it's going to be in. And you can see here how we have these four triggers. So a trigger is the start of the automation, and an event happens in the system. And these are the four currently defined events that you can choose from. We could have an account added to the list, and let's say it's the small list, um, or we could, I don't know, a product is activated of, let's say, social marketing. So we want social marketing somewhere in here. There it is. And we save that. Or maybe what we're actually going to do is we're just going to go snapshot report created. That's a very easy one. And so one of the things we can add to this trigger is a filter to say, you know what, I want to actually add a little bit more information and say that the business that had the snapshot report created for it needs to not have a website. So I've created a snapshot report and that business doesn't have a website and I want to do something. I want something to happen for that. So I'm going to actually wait, I don't know, let's say an hour, because I'm going to generate the snapshot report. Then I'll probably send it to them, or the salesperson will send it to them. Something's going to happen there. And I want some time for the business to actually look at the snapshot report. And then so after that, I'm going to start a campaign. And I want to start the Why Websites Are Needed campaign. Now, these pieces here, this purple one and this blue one, these are the actions, the things that come after the trigger. You can have one trigger and you can have as many of these actions as you want. So there's five actions that we currently have defined, and there's the things that happen in the system because of this automation. And then we just have currently two building blocks. So I've actually set it up so that I send the snapshot report, and then if the business does not have a website, we'll wait an hour, and I'll send them some more information about why websites are important. And then I'm going to actually wait 2 more days, so let's make this 48 hours. And then I'm going to check, like, do they have a website anymore still? So we're going to say website actually exists. Now, this checks the business profile, the information on the business profile. So if after 48 hours we've updated that business profile to have a website or not, we kind of have two branches here of yes, they do have a website, and no, they don't have a website. Well, if they do have a website, they probably don't need information about why websites are important. So let's not send them that campaign anymore. So we're gonna pause this campaign, and they don't have to worry about that. So maybe this campaign is 20 emails and it takes a full 3 months to fully drip. Well, they don't have to be bombarded with all of that because they already have a website. But if they still don't have a website, well, maybe what we're going to do is we're going to actually send a notification to the assigned salesperson. We want to let that assigned salesperson know that, hey, like, we've gone through this, they've got some emails, maybe not, and we want them to the salesperson to know that, hey, this hasn't happened. So I'm going to choose the assigned salesperson here, and I'm going to say business name doesn't have a website. Maybe I have a salesperson that specifically works on website clients. I don't know. That's up to you. But I'm going to choose the assigned salesperson here. And then we can choose a link for this notification. So when it pops down from the bell, you can click on it and it can go somewhere. In general, it'll probably be somewhere in our system, but let's just send them to Google for now because it doesn't matter for this demo. So we've now created a notification for the salesperson. Well, I actually want also to have a task. Maybe the task is look up that website. Maybe they do have a website, and I just want to make sure that it gets filled out. So the task is going to be find website for business. And I'm going to assign it to the assigned salesperson because that's who has to do it, and they have 2 days to work on that task. Who knows? But let's go back and say this account website actually does exist. Well, it didn't exist originally, and then 2 days later it does exist. That kind of indicates some level of engagement. Either the salesperson added that, or the business owner contacted the salesperson and said, hey, I do have a website. Why do I have a F grade on my snapshot report? I don't know. So what we can actually do is we can add business activity and log some hotness and say business name is interested in websites. And that's really important. So we're going to actually give it 3 flames. We're going to say that's 3 flames. So now what will happen is when this runs through, when the business runs through this automation, and we get to this point, we're actually going to tie into our hot lead system, and we will say this is a lead that is 3 flames. The hot lead system is in Sales and Success Center, and there are already a pre-configured, I don't know, probably 30 rules that contribute to it, and this is your ability to actually extend to that. So you can combine the triggers and filters and these branches if you really want to write to this activity to trigger that hotness of the accounts. And so kind of to go along with that, we've actually updated the loop here to have these business activity in it. So before we had task manager and sales activity, now we have business activity as well. So this is where all of the business activity for the whole partner, all of your businesses you'll be able to see the activity here. Now we just launched this and we didn't backfill it because the loop is a point in time reference of what's going on, not something that you would look back in like 2 years ago to see what was the business activity. So we didn't backfill it, didn't really make sense. So this will populate as you keep using the platform. This one happens to only have 3 because, like I said, we just launched it. The loop is also in Sales and Success Center, and when your salespeople view it from Sales and Success Center, it'll be scoped to their assigned businesses, so they'll be able to see all of their business activity for all of their assigned businesses in one place. Previously, you had to go into each individual business to see that activity. We've just combined it all into the loop here. So let's go back to that automation. Okay, so we can go to the settings for this automation, and we actually have a single setting now. We're going to be populating this with more as we get more feedback. But currently you can choose to run the automation once or every time the trigger happens for that specific business. So if I were to create a snapshot report, the way this is set up now, if I were to create the snapshot report for a business, and then in 2 weeks I create a snapshot report for that same business, it wouldn't run a second time. I've got it set to only run the first time. You can also choose every time. The other major improvement that we have for automations is actually the activity. I don't have any activity on this one because I haven't run it yet. So I'm just going to go to automation here that does have some rich activity so I can show you. So this one has been turned on and off and edited a whole bunch of times. So it's got a whole bunch of different steps and different activity that in the most part wouldn't really exist in an automation that you leave running or just augment a little bit. But just so that I can explain it a little better, that's what I've set it up as. So you can see you have the account. So this is the account name that the business that has run through this automation. And then we have each step that has run. So this is the defined step for that automation at that point in time. So if we go to the bottom here, you can see an account was added to the list. That was the trigger. But then we had actually gone in and we had selected a specific list. And when an account is added to the test list, that's the list that we chose. And then the activity column is what happened when we ran that step. Well, I mean, it was the trigger, so they entered the automation. Pretty self-explanatory. And they entered the automation because they were added to the test list specifically. Then the next step in the automation at that time was sending a campaign. So we sent the local marketing snapshot with listing distribution campaign to the account. Well, actually that failed. So the activity again is what happened when we ran the step, and the step is the definition of what happened or what was supposed to happen at that time. And we're working on this, but we know the step failed. We are trying to bring you the information as to why it failed. I personally know that this step failed because there was no user on the business at the time. So there was nobody to send the email to, and that's why it failed. And we're working to get that messaging out to you. The best we can do at this point in time is just tell you that it failed. And then the next step was to send a notification. So we were going to send a notification to the assigned salesperson, and we didn't send that notification. Why? Because there was no assigned salesperson. that's basically how it works. You can see how we have a bunch of different steps and a bunch of different activity because I've mangled this automation a whole bunch just for the demo. And you can see here how it was logged the activity and hotness rating was the action that was supposed to happen, and then that's what we did. I mean, success. We did what we wanted, and that's going to be the case most of the time. There are a few edge cases where there could be failures, and that's what we kind of wanted to show you. So that's automations. We're continually working on this. We would like some feedback, if you have it, of what triggers and what steps you would like. Again, we have, right now there's only about 4 triggers and there's 5 actions, but we're always looking for more. Also feedback on other building blocks, if you think there are building blocks that we should add. We've got a whole roadmap, but we're looking for feedback to kind of adjust the priorities of that, and that comes directly from you. So any feedback is much appreciated. Thanks.